I woke up to a miracle today. Triggers stay as I find my way. No judgment to lead astray. In this peaceful state I'll stay.
Welcome back to A Course in Miracles in Practice. I'm here and ready to jump into another lesson from the Course.
And I'm right here with you. Really looking forward to our exploration today. We're looking at lesson 233.
Yes.
And this one has so much potential to really shift how you see your day-to-day life. It can be a real game changer.
Before we get right into the lesson, just a quick reminder for you listening. Have you had a chance to check out the daily poll question over on Spotify?
Mm-hmm.
We love seeing your thoughts, your experiences with these lessons. It really helps us, get a feel for what's landing for you, what questions are coming up.
It does.
And of course, if you want to connect more directly, you can always find us on social media. We're at the World Harmony Project.
Yeah.
Or just shoot us an email, acim@theworldharmonyproject.org. We honestly do read every message. Your insights mean a lot.
Okay, so today, lesson 233, it's our lens for looking at divine guidance. And it starts with this incredibly clear, powerful statement. It really sets the tone. I give my life to God to guide today.
Wow.
It's not just a nice idea. It feels like a very active decision, a real realignment.
Definitely.
So let me read the full text for you now.
Okay.
Father, I give you all the thoughts today. I would have none of mine. In place of them, give me your own. I give you all my acts as well, that I may do your will instead of seeking goals which cannot be obtained and wasting time in vain imaginings. Today I come to you. I will step back and merely follow you. Be you the guide, and I the follower who questions not the wisdom of the infinite, nor love whose tenderness I cannot comprehend, but which is yet your perfect gift to me. Today we have one guide to lead us on, and as we walk together, we will give this day to him with no reserve at all. This is his day, and so it is a day of countless gifts and mercies unto us.
As I hear that again, something really jumps out at me. It's that that shift in the language.
Yeah, the first paragraph feels so personal. It's all, I give you all my thoughts. I give you all my acts. Today I come to you. It's like this very intimate one-on-one commitment.
Right.
But then you get to that second paragraph, and suddenly it broadens out. It shifts to we. Mm-hmm. Today we have one guide to lead us on, and as we walk together, it really opens things up, doesn't it? What's your take on that we?
It really does invite us to look deeper, doesn't it? The shift from I to we. It immediately raises that question, who is this we?
Yeah.
Is it like just Jesus and me? Or is it talking about all of us, all the children of God, every single one of us on this path together?
Right, the whole sonship.
It seems to hold both interpretations at the same time. It's somehow incredibly personal and yet totally universal all at once. So even if your first feeling of guidance is that very intimate, just Jesus and me sense, that's perfect. That's a step. It leads you toward realizing you're never actually alone anyway.
Both offer strength. It shows how flexible and, graceful the Holy Spirit's connection with us is.
Okay, so let's dig into the practical side of this. What does it actually look like giving our life to God to guide today? Because let's be real, it doesn't mean becoming some kind of, spiritual puppet, right? We're not supposed to turn into remote-controlled zombies waiting for divine instructions before we decide whether to, brush our teeth.
No, definitely not.
That's a big misunderstanding, I think. And it makes the whole idea of surrender sound really unappealing, maybe even a bit frightening.
Oh, you've hit on such a common snag there.
Here.
I have to admit, when I first started really trying to practice the Course, especially lessons like this one, I got a little intense about it. Maybe over-enthusiastic is the word.
Uh-oh, how so?
I honestly thought every single choice, no matter how small, needed some kind of divine consultation. It was exhausting and kind of silly looking back.
Oh, I can just imagine. Give us an example. What kind of things were you taking to the divine counsel?
Oh, everything.
Yeah.
Seriously. I'd get really analytical. I'd be thinking, okay, is keto the more spiritual path for my body right now? Or should I be vegetarian because I'm a Course student?
No.
It just made me more stuck in my head, not less. Completely overwhelmed.
That is such a classic experience. You are definitely not alone in that. I call it spiritual analysis paralysis.
That's a perfect name for it.
It's often the ego hijacking the process. The ego loves control, even if it disguises it as spiritual diligence. It thinks more control is better. But the Course is inviting us to let go of that need to micromanage.
Exactly. And the real downside of all that hyperanalysis is that it just creates more mental noise, more friction, not less.
Right.
Instead of actually surrendering and trusting, you end up in this loop, overthinking, second-guessing, trying to be perfect. It turns into this kind of spiritual perfectionism.
Which is just the ego wearing spiritual robes.
Totally. True guidance is about freedom, not more mental hoops to jump through.
So if that intense micromanaging isn't the way, what's a more natural flowing approach? I often think about it like breathing. You don't consciously analyze every single breath, right? You don't focus on exactly how your diaphragm is moving or measure your lung capacity with each inhale.
No, of course not.
You just breathe naturally, instinctively. And maybe over time with practice, guidance becomes more like that. It becomes this intuitive sense, this sort of background current guiding you, rather than this effortful mental task.
That breathing analogy really lands. It captures that feeling of effortless presence. And building on that, maybe some practical guidelines could help folks find that natural flow.
Yeah, good idea.
One thing that helped me was starting with what I call the big stuff.
Okay.
The major forks in the road. Potential job change, maybe.
Yeah.
Or how you plan to approach a really difficult conversation you need to have.
Yeah.
Or even just consciously thinking about how you want to show up in relationships when things feel tense.
Right. Focus the energy where it counts most.
Exactly. Don't get bogged down trying to micromanage every tiny choice like the shirt color. That's where that analysis paralysis kicks right back in. Focus your intention where a real shift feels possible.
And then in those bigger moments, maybe trusting your first instinct.
Yes.
When you actually pause, take that breath, and genuinely ask inside, what serves here? Or what feels like the loving thing here? Often there's a quick, clear sense that comes through.
A quiet knowing.
Yeah, a gentle nudge, maybe. It's usually not a booming voice, it's subtle. And the trick is not to immediately start overthinking it, right? Not to let your intellect chew on it until that initial clarity gets muddy. Just notice that first clean, loving impulse and go with it.
Precisely. And another thing that builds on that is shifting focus from actions to attitude.
Okay, say more about that.
So instead of agonizing, should I take this meeting or not, or what exact words should I use in this confrontation, try asking a broader question. Like, how can I approach this meeting with love? Or how can I bring openness here?
Ah, I see. Setting an intention for the feeling or the energy.
Exactly. Or using broader intentions for the whole day. Like, I want to be truly helpful today. Or my aim is to bring peace wherever I go. Setting that underlying attitude, that intention, tends to guide the actions much more organically than trying to script every single move.
And here's the interesting paradox. The harder you try to be perfectly guided, the more you're actually operating from that place of ego control instead of just allowing it.
So true.
Whereas real guidance often feels surprisingly ordinary, natural, simple, like realizing the best way to walk is just to put one foot in front of the other, not to analyze every muscle. And this surrender, this letting go, it doesn't make you less you, it actually makes you more authentic, more present, more able to respond genuinely to life instead of being a kind of robot.
Beautifully put. It's about becoming more fully yourself.
Okay, now, we need to shift gears a bit and touch on something really important and honestly, sometimes quite tender. Because this lesson, I give my life to God to guide today, especially that phrase about giving up personal will, it can stir up some really intense stuff for people, deep fear. So if you're listening and this topic starts to feel a bit overwhelming or maybe brings things up for you, please know that's completely okay. It's a normal reaction. And maybe just be extra gentle with yourself during this part of our exploration.
That phrase, give up your personal will, triggers genuine terror. That's not too strong a word.
No, it isn't.
It can feel like a threat to your very existence. So we want to approach these fears with real honesty and compassion. They're real. They're understandable. Just dismissing them doesn't help anyone.
One of the biggest ones, and I know I've definitely felt this, is that gut level fear of I'll disappear, or maybe I won't be me anymore.
The loss of self.
Yeah. Imagine feeling like your unique personality, your sense of humor, the things you love, your dreams, all the quirks that make you you will just vanish.
All right.
And you'll be replaced by some kind of bland, generic, holy person. No spark, no individuality. It feels like annihilation, like losing your essence.
Yeah.
That's terrifying. It's a deep fear of losing your identity.
And right alongside that is a very practical fear. I'll become completely passive and ineffective.
Oh, yeah. The doormat fear.
Exactly. People picture themselves just sitting around doing nothing, waiting for some divine sign before they can even pay a bill.
Right. Life falling apart around them.
Yeah. Bills piling up, relationships struggling because they're not engaging, career just stalling.
Yeah.
Basically becoming someone everyone else has to prop up because they're too spiritual to actually do anything.
Yeah.
It's a very real, very grounded worry for people trying to live this stuff.
Then there's that other big one. God will make me do things I hate.
Ugh, yes. That one runs deep for many.
It often comes from past religious stuff, doesn't it? Or times when God's will got twisted into meaning suffering or sacrifice. So you fear being forced to, I don't know, become a missionary somewhere, leaving everything behind, or give away all your money and live in poverty, or maybe the most painful one for some, being told you have to stay in a really unhappy marriage or a dead-end job because that's God's will.
Yeah.
The fear is that your life becomes this prison of unwanted duties and your own real desires get steamrolled by some demanding external power.
And another really crucial fear that comes up is, I can't trust what I don't understand.
Right. How do I know it's really guidance?
Exactly. You're told to listen to this inner voice, this subtle guidance, but how can you be sure it's divine and not just your own wishful thinking? Or maybe even your ego playing tricks.
Yeah, the spiritual ego.
What if you make a huge life decision based on something you thought was guidance? Quit your job, move across the country, end a relationship, only to realize later you totally misread it, and now your life is a mess. The stakes feel incredibly high, and figuring it out feels impossible when the source seems so intangible.
And you know, these fears aren't irrational. They make perfect sense because they're often rooted in real experiences or things we've seen.
Absolutely.
We've all known people or heard stories where someone has used spirituality, maybe unconsciously, to avoid taking responsibility, blaming God's will for things. And maybe even more common, so many of us were taught, directly or indirectly, that God's will means suffering. It means giving up joy, sacrificing yourself. So when you've seen that or absorbed that message, feeling terrified about surrendering your will is a totally natural protective reaction.
But here's the thing we've seen again and again in our own lives and with so many others practicing the Course. Authentic guidance doesn't erase you. It actually makes you more yourself.
That's the paradox, isn't it?
It helps you uncover your true self, that radiant, creative, loving part of you that's buried under all the fear and conditioning. It connects you to this deeper wellspring. You feel more alive, more creative, more engaged, more genuinely you, because you're not fighting yourself or trying to fit into some external mold anymore.
And you don't have to take this giant, scary leap of faith all at
No,
once.
not at all. You can test it gently. Start small. Try following a little nudge on a small decision. See what happens. Observe the outcome without judgment. Build that trust muscle gradually, step by step.
That makes sense. Test the waters.
Now, there's maybe an even deeper layer here tied into those fears. It's something people don't always talk about, but it has a huge impact.
What's that?
Well, think about how many of us grew up with this idea of God as external,
Yeah.
separate, often kind of authoritarian.
Yeah, the cosmic parent figure.
Right, like a cosmic parent who might punish you or who has these very specific, maybe rigid expectations about how you should live, think, feel. God is out there holding all the power.
Okay, so then,
So then, when the Course comes along and says, essentially, that incredible wisdom and power is actually inside you, it can feel incredibly destabilizing. It can feel like you're suddenly losing your protector. Imagine you've believed your whole life there's this all-powerful guardian watching over you, ready to step in. And then someone says, actually, that guardian, it's you.
whoa, yeah, that would be jarring.
The immediate reaction for many is panic. Like, wait, me? I'm supposed to be that wise and powerful. I can barely manage my inbox. I need someone bigger than me for the really scary stuff. Feels less like empowerment and more like being told you suddenly have to perform your own brain surgery. It's overwhelming.
That makes so much sense. The responsibility feels immense.
And that panic often connects to an even deeper sort of underlying terror. The thought process goes something like this. Okay, if I can't pray to an external God to, like, save my loved ones from harm, protect my family, stop disasters, then what? Are we all just adrift, vulnerable to random chaos? Is there no safety net at all?
The fear of ultimate vulnerability.
Yes. The fear that the universe is ultimately indifferent and we're just alone with no one to appeal to when things are truly beyond our control. No ultimate benevolent force looking out for us.
So the core fear there is that shifting from relying on that external power to trusting inner guidance means you're basically on your own.
Yeah.
Completely alone in a dangerous, unpredictable world. Like being abandoned by the only one you thought could really help, especially when you feel most helpless.
But here's the amazing discovery, the thing we find over and over again. That wisdom, that love you were praying to, the thing you felt was outside, it was never actually separate from you. It's not that you're losing your connection to something powerful. It's that you're realizing the connection was never broken to begin with.
So it's already here.
It's already here. The strength, the guidance you were looking for out there has always been right here inside you. It's a constant, unwavering presence. It's the same strength, the same love, just a much deeper understanding of how incredibly accessible it always is.
That reframes it completely.
And there's yet another layer to this fear, and this one can feel really raw, really heartbreaking.
Okay.
Think about those times in life when you've prayed out of sheer desperation, those primal pleas during a crisis, like, please, God, don't let my mom die, or please don't let me lose my job, I don't know what I'll do, or please somehow save my marriage.
Yeah, those raw moments.
In those moments, you're not just asking for an outcome, are you?
Yeah.
You're often begging for proof. Proof that someone, something cares enough to intervene, to change things that feel way beyond your human power. It's a cry for a miracle.
Absolutely. It's a plea for intervention.
So, when you then hear that maybe there isn't an external God who works quite like that, who reaches down and manipulates circumstances exactly to your liking, it can feel devastating. It can feel like being told, sorry, you're completely on your own now. Imagine feeling that when your child is seriously ill, or you're facing losing your home. Everything feels like it's collapsing. To hear there's no one outside to call on for that kind of magical rescue, that's not just philosophy. That's primal terror. The fear of utter powerlessness when facing huge suffering.
Inner wisdom sounds pretty useless for the really big crises, the life or death stuff.
The fear is that you've lost your only connection, your lifeline, to the one being you thought could actually do something about the huge, scary, overwhelming situations.
Yeah.
And now you're just left with your own limited human abilities, feeling totally inadequate against these massive challenges. Like the ultimate safety net just vanished when you needed it most. Profound abandonment.
But, and this is such a crucial shift, it brings so much relief. You are absolutely not losing help or protection. You're actually discovering something far more constant, more reliable, more deeply intimate. You're realizing that the peace, the strength, the guidance you need, it doesn't actually depend on external circumstances getting fixed exactly the way you want them to be. Love that holds you, that unwavering presence of the guide, it doesn't control outcomes like some cosmic puppet master, the way we often bargain for it to. But it does promise to never, ever leave you alone. It promises to be with you, providing strength and perspective in whatever you face. It's a constant companion through the storm, not necessarily a magic wand to stop the storm.
So it changes how we see help.
Exactly. And prayer, in this light, it doesn't become pointless. It becomes infinitely more intimate, more powerful even.
How so?
You're no longer begging a distant God to fix a world you see as separate. Instead, you're connecting directly with the deepest source of wisdom and love that's already in you, right where you are, always present.
From petition to communion.
Yes. It shifts from desperately pleading for outward fixes to finding this unshakable inward strength and peace no matter what's happening outside. It's finding the peace within the storm.
It's a profound shift.
Now, we do need to touch on something that can feel even more serious, because sometimes grappling with these ideas, people reach a point where they say things like, I just feel completely lost now, or I feel like I've lost the most important thing in my life, or even my life feels like nothing now.
Yeah, that's beyond doubt. That sounds like a spiritual crisis.
It is. It's when your whole framework for meaning, how you understand yourself and the world, feels like it's just collapsed. It's this profound disorientation, emptiness, sometimes despair.
And this is such a critical point. We have to be really careful here to distinguish between what might be a genuine mental health crisis, needing professional help, and what could be a spiritual dark night, a breakdown that's actually a prelude to a breakthrough.
Absolutely essential distinction.
If someone is truly experiencing a loss of will to live, having persistent suicidal thoughts, or is deep in a depression that's crippling their daily life for weeks on end, that requires professional support, a therapist, a doctor, that's non-negotiable.
Please reach out if that's you.
Yes. But sometimes, what looks and feels like a devastating breakdown, the painful dissolving of an old, limited way of seeing yourself and God, is actually that necessary breakthrough. The old structure is crumbling to make space for something much deeper, more authentic, more true. It's the dismantling of false ideas.
And when someone is in that space, it's so vital to validate the grief they're feeling. They are grieving. They're grieving the comfort of believing someone bigger was in charge, solving things. They're grieving a familiar identity, maybe tied to a specific faith. They're grieving the fantasy of being rescued.
It's a real loss.
It is. So we have to be incredibly gentle. No rushing in with spiritual platitudes like, oh, just trust inner guidance. You'll be fine.
Oh.
Acknowledge the depth of the loss. Validate the pain. And often suggesting both therapy for the emotional processing and maybe spiritual direction for navigating the existential questions can be incredibly supportive, a whole person approach.
And the gentle truth is this. You haven't lost God. You've lost a particular idea about God. The love that held you before is still here. You're just learning a different way to experience it. It's like the sun hasn't vanished. You just learn to see its light reflected everywhere in ways you didn't expect. That light, that love was never gone. It's not about absence. It's about realizing a deeper, more constant presence.
That leads perfectly into reframing this whole giving up will thing, doesn't it? Maybe the key question is, are we really giving up our personal will? Or are we actually reclaiming it? Maybe for the first time.
Ooh, interesting twist. Say more.
Well, think about what we usually call personal will. Most of the time, isn't it often just ego reactivity?
Like knee-jerk reactions.
Yeah. Reactions born from fear, old wounds, or just conditioning, right? Stuff we absorbed from family, society, culture, without even realizing it. It's not really our freely chosen, authentic will. It's more like programming, deep patterns running on autopilot, often making choices that don't actually lead to peace or joy.
And that connects right back to that course teaching. The kingdom of heaven is within you.
Exactly.
So the guide in this lesson, it isn't some external boss telling you what to do. It is our deepest, truest self. It's that inherent wisdom and love within us, our link to our source. So when we learn to tune into that, to follow that inner guidance, maybe that's when we're accessing our real will for the first time. What we genuinely want underneath all the shoulds, all the fears, all the external noise that's been running the show unconsciously. It's not losing yourself. It's finding your true self.
That distinction changes everything. Think about it.
Yeah.
Your ego might desperately want to win an argument, right? To be right, prove a point, defend itself.
Oh, yeah.
But your deeper wisdom, that inner guide, it doesn't care about winning. It wants connection. It wants understanding. It wants peace. So following guidance isn't about suppressing your real desires. It's about getting in touch with your truest desires, the ones that are always aligned with your highest good and everyone else's. It stops feeling like I have to sacrifice what I want for what God wants.
And it
becomes more like a joyful discovery. Let me find out what I actually want at the deepest level. And realizing that deep desire is God's will. They're the same thing. It's liberation, not limitation.
So the real question flips, doesn't it? It becomes, are we giving up personal will, or are we finally claiming it back from all those unconscious forces, the conditioning, the fears, the societal pressures that have been running our lives without our real permission, without our true desire?
Wow. Yeah, that lands differently.
It turns the fear into freedom, into authentic self-expression.
Okay, so for anyone listening who might still be feeling a bit scared or maybe just overwhelmed by all this, by the whole idea of giving your life over to guidance, please know that is so completely normal.
It really is.
Spiritual growth, real transformation, it often involves discomfort because we're letting go of old ideas, old structures that felt safe even if they kept us small. We're shedding those familiar cages to find something infinitely bigger and more loving.
And you absolutely don't have to figure it all out right now.
No.
This isn't one giant leap off a cliff. It's a journey. It unfolds gradually, step by mindful step.
And remember that beautiful line from the second paragraph of the lesson?
Which one?
Today we have one guide to lead us on. And as we walk together,
So key.
it really is. It's this constant, gentle reminder. You are not alone in this. We walk together. You're part of this huge, interconnected human family, all exploring what it means to live from love instead of fear, to follow that deeper wisdom. You have companions seen and unseen. That shared intention is powerful support.
So keeping that in mind, let's make this really practical. How can we actually apply lesson 233 today, tomorrow, moving from just thinking about it to actually living it?
Good idea. Let's break it down, maybe 5 simple steps to help integrate this, especially when you hit those moments of feeling unsure or tense.
Perfect. Okay, step 1. It's super simple, but really powerful. Pause and notice what's happening.
Just stop.
Just stop. When you feel that tension rising or confusion, or you're facing a tricky decision or just feeling swamped by thoughts, just pause. Take a breath. Notice what's going on in your body. Tightness, heat. Notice the thoughts racing. Notice the emotions bubbling up. Don't judge it. Don't try to fix it. Just observe. Curiously, that tiny pause creates space.
Okay, so pause and notice. Then step 2.
Step 2. Gently repeat the idea for the day. In that little space you created, softly, maybe silently to yourself or out loud if you prefer, just repeat the core idea. I give my life to God to guide today. You could add that first line to, Father, I give you all my thoughts today. I would have none of mine. Say it like an offering. Not a demand, just a statement of willingness. It anchors your mind back to the lesson's purpose.
Okay, repeat the idea. What's step 3?
Step 3, acknowledge how you feel. This is really important for genuine integration. After you repeat the idea, notice what comes up in response. Maybe you feel resistance, fear, annoyance, or maybe relief, peace.
Whatever it is.
Whatever it is, just acknowledge it without judging yourself for it. You could just say internally, okay, I'm feeling anxious about this. Or, wow, noticing a lot of resistance here. This honest awareness stops you from suppressing things and lets you be fully present with where you actually are. It's like saying, this is my starting point right now, and that's okay.
Right. Be honest with yourself. Okay, step 4.
Step 4, ask the Holy Spirit for help. From that place of honest awareness, just make a simple, heartfelt request. It's not begging, it's an invitation.
Simple is key.
Yeah, just, Holy Spirit, I don't know what to do. Please guide me. Or, I'm feeling really scared right now. Can you show me another way to see this? Or even just, I give this whole situation to you. What would you have me do? What would you have me think? Remember, the Holy Spirit is just that inner voice for love, that wisdom in your own mind that knows the way back to peace. It's part of you.
Ask for help. And finally,
Step 5, rest a moment. This is about being open to receive. After you ask, don't immediately jump back into frantic thinking or expect lightning bolts.
just pause again.
Just pause again. Take another breath. Just rest for a moment in the quiet knowing that you've asked and guidance is available. It's a little space of trust. Trusting the answer will come in its own time, in its own way, maybe an inner nudge, a clear thought, something someone says, an unexpected opportunity. That moment of rest allows guidance to surface naturally.
Pause, repeat, acknowledge, ask, rest. Simple steps. Thank you so much for joining us today for this exploration of Lesson 233. It's definitely a deep one, and we really appreciate you bringing your time and your willingness to it.
Yes, thank you.
And truly, if this conversation brought up intense feelings, please reach out, talk to someone you trust, maybe a therapist who gets the spiritual side of things, or look into spiritual direction. Remember, transformation. It often feels shaky, uncomfortable, even scary before it feels freeing.
That's part of the process.
It is. It's letting go of old ways. But the most important thing really is knowing you are not walking this path alone, ever. There's always support.
We look forward to continuing this journey with you tomorrow, exploring the next step together. Until then, take good care of yourselves. Be gentle. And remember, you truly are held in love, always. What might shift if you let yourself really feel that, just for today?
Until next time, this is A Course in Miracles in Practice.